This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
The Filipino American Cancer Care now brings you On the Air with FACC, tributes and support to those impacted by cancer. On the Air with FACC, the Filipino American Cancer Care on PHLV Radio.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Magandang gabi sa ating mga kababayan dito sa Amerika. Good morning, Philippines. Magandang umaga, Pilipinas. My name is Josie Moralidad Azayman, and President and Founder of the Filipino American Cancer Care. Welcome po sa ating programa dito sa PHLV Radio in Las Vegas, on the air with FACC. Ngayong gabi, syempre, kasama ko ang co-founder ng Filipino American Cancer Care at Executive Vice President. Siya yung pinaka-busy na lalaki sa buong mundo. Ang dami niyang responsibilidad, hindi lang sa pamilya, kundi pati na sa negosyo at sa Filipino American Cancer Care. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ed Logan. Hi, Ed.
Hey, Josie, again. It's Friday, so I can't wait to hear another inspiring story for our listeners. So I guess I want to say good evening here in the US and good morning po sa Pilipinas.
Yes, and by the way, ngayong gabi, Ed, ng Friday, birthday concert ni Maggie.
No, this is just amazing month. We have a lot of our FACC officers and volunteers celebrating the May of the month celebrants.
Mm-hmm. And you know how it is to live in America. Talaga namang oras ang hinahabol namin dito. Busy ang aming mga buhay. Kung pwede pa lang ang 24 hours, gawin natin yan ng 48 hours para lang magawa ang mga dapat gawin sa buhay. But we would like to inform everyone na meron pong induction ceremony on January 18th, ang Filipino American Cancer Care. And of course, we are going to have a summer event. Ano to, Ed?
Yeah, that is our first ever 2021 Zumba contest. And we have prizes, and of course we have DMV Fil-Am performers, and then we have a special guest, right? So we were not gonna disclose it yet because we're still working on the details, Josie, right?
Yes, but we are also going to have a concert ng isang Elvis Presley tribute artist, para siyang impersonator ni Elvis Presley. His wife died of breast cancer, at syempre yung aming mga next generation of leaders, they're very talented. Yung mga ibang supporters ng FACC are going to be there at the Mason District Park Amphitheater in Annandale, Virginia. So please support this fundraising event that will benefit 3 cancer patients in the United States.
Yeah, because without those 3 cancer patient beneficiaries, we will not have any event and the organization will not exist. So thank you for trusting us to tell your story, and really the community is supporting us in every step of the way.
Yes, and we are still open for sponsorship. Hindi naman masyadong mahal yung aming sponsorship kasi nga lahat ng mga kinikita dito, it goes to the services and programs of the Filipino American Cancer Care, especially to the medically underserved cancer victims in the Philippines and here in America.
All right, so Josie, I think you should lead the introduction to our guest tonight, because I can't wait to hear really her story.
Yes, our special guest tonight, she was diagnosed in September 2016 with incurable stage 4 lung cancer. She is the author of The Grace of Cancer, and it was launched on February 2020. Also, she is a health coach, chef, speaker, and anti-inflammatory menu consultant. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Veronica Villanueva from Los Angeles, California. Hi, Veronica.
Hi, Josie. Hi, Edward. My gosh, thank you so much for having me. Ang galing naman ng mga introduction niyo. How nice. And thank you for having me again. This is such a pleasure. We had a great time having our nice conversation last time, Josie. So salamat for having me back. And because there's always so much that we can talk about when it comes, when it's about cancer and just being healthy and what we can do to prevent this disease ever making a home in our bodies, right? So I applaud you both, and myself included in that we are on this mission to really bring education out there to a lot of people on the many alternative ways that they can treat their cancer, because not all cancer is the same. And I think that the more people come out with their stories and share them, the more we learn more about the disease and how people are actually treating them. And who knows, your story for sure can save somebody else's life. At the very minimum, give somebody hope.
Ed, you notice, ang ganda-ganda ni Veronica, di ba? Pwede siyang pang Miss Universe.
And then she can really be one of our guest co-hosts in the future.
Yes, and who knows, she could be a part of the Filipino American Cancer Care.
Listen, I will do anything and everything. This is my mission. I am meant to have this disease so I can help as many people as possible. And why not? I'm Filipino myself.
So you are very passionate now in raising awareness against cancer.
I think my passion is educating people of how to live a thriving life, and a life that is meaningful, and that they choose to actually make the decision to live a thriving and happy and joyful and healthy. It's really your medicine, it's your prescription to being healthy and living for as long as you can, is exactly that, living a thriving life where there's no BS. There's no wasted time doing unproductive things. It's taking great care of yourself, mastering who you are, and it's very easy. Most of what we go through on a daily basis can really be resolved by being mindful of what we consume in terms of what we put in our mind, what we put in our body, who we surround ourselves with, right? What we say yes to and what we say no to, and having to exercise that. And I think just if we are all committed to acquiring skills and behaviors that support and empower our life and our lifestyle, we would all be much healthier. And we would probably not have this discussion.
Just one quick question, Edno, before I give you the floor. I know that you are a cordon bleu chef, a nutritionist, but tell us about your background as a Filipino American and bilang isang immigrant na dito nakapag-aral sa Amerika.
Yes, so my mom is Filipina, tsaka my dad is Filipina din. Part Spanish. So my dad is Filipino from Mindanao. My mom is Visayan from Cebu. And so they migrated back. They were from the Philippines. They came here in the US. They all Catholic family, of course. My grandmother, she's this very petite, no, I shouldn't say petite. She's short, but, heavyweight Spanish woman. And just, very like a jefe, like she's in charge of everyone. 13 children, imagine that.
Big.
So, nadami kami, mga cousins ko and everything. There's like 75 of us. So, and then we all moved here together in the US, in San Francisco. Some went to Florida, most went to the Bay Area. And then we got educated here. I went to UC Berkeley. I'm a family. I have 4 brothers, and my parents did not really, we weren't really allowed to speak English at home. So, and thank God, because that's how I was able to retain the Tagalog. Kawawa naman ang parents ko because they weren't able to really learn how to speak English well. But good for me because I can speak Tagalog and a little bit of Bisaya. I totally understand. So yeah, when I took my kids back to the Philippines a few years ago, it was really a nice experience because people were shocked that I can actually speak in Tagalog. And like with a real accent of,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, wow. And even my own kids are like, and it's very hard for me to speak to someone. If I know you're Tagalog, you're Filipino, I will speak to you even when I speak to you in English. Look at me, meron na akong accent. I'm speaking in English, but there's such a thick accent that just naturally
Naturally comes, right? Yeah, that's what Josie and I were like. Sometimes like, Josie, I've been talking to all the American coworkers of mine. Then hers like, oh, it naturally comes again.
Yes. And I'm an Ilongga, also a Bisaya, but my English is elongated. Kasi may Tagalog na, may English pa at Ilonggo.
Exactly. But honestly, it's such a great, that's why I'm so happy that you reached out to me because I am really being pulled in so many directions sometimes. And absolutely, I want to help as much as I can because as you know, the disease doesn't discriminate. It doesn't discriminate between colors, age, finances, none of that. It's everyone gets it. Everyone can get it. And so it is become our mission to educate people who have them and to educate people who don't have them. And it's a privilege.
So thank you. So I just want to follow on opening the first question in terms of cancer journey for you, Veronica. So, for our listener, because we want to make sure we give them a little bit background, right? How can you walk us through when the first diagnosis happened and how you felt? Like, what's the first word or what something came into your mind, right, at that moment? So recall the journey.
Yeah, no, I remember it vividly because it's one moment in your life you will never forget. And the feeling is very raw. The feeling is very, it's fresh, right? And I think it will always be fresh. And I think in many ways, I want to keep it fresh because it's a reminder of what I've been through and where I'm going. And so what do I remember is, oh my gosh, I'm not even turning 50.
You look fabulous. Don't even say that, okay?
I interviewed Veronica Ed on my radio show, my other radio show. And can you imagine that? 1 year na lang, magpi-50 pa siya. Tapos ito yung nangyari sa kanya.
So I was like, I'm supposed to have a big party at my 50th. So because I'm not going to have a party, no way. So that's what I thought about, having a celebration. So honestly, Ed, I wasn't scared. I wasn't. I just knew that I'm a good person and that God is with me. It's almost like simultaneously, the same moment that I received the bad news, God was hovering over me.
Wow. But did you feel any symptoms? Like, because a lot of listeners and our guests, right? Different people have different journey. Some people say, oh, they didn't feel anything. Some people feel pain, hear signs. So what symptoms do you feel during that time?
So I was diagnosed September of 2016. February of 2016, I started getting the pain on my back. So when you have lung cancer, the pain is on the back. It's quite excruciating. And because I had lumps on my abs and my ribs on my side, I had pain in my abs. And to the point where I was rushed to the hospital at one point because I was having so much pain. I couldn't be vertical. I was like this. And they had to give me morphine. And when I found out that that's what they gave me, that was the end of it. I said, God, I never want to feel pain ever again. Do what it takes. I don't want medication. So when she said, you want more? I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'm good. I don't feel any pain. Nope. Even though I did. Somehow, after that, I never felt pain ever again.
Were you proactive in terms of taking care of your health?
That's the first thing I did. Are you referring to after I was diagnosed?
Before you were diagnosed?
No. Okay. So I am one of these people that never got sick. But towards the end, my health started deteriorating. I had all these unknown, mysterious aches and pains. um, undetected infections, and I just wasn't well. And I think over time, I think we discussed this last time, Josie, in one of the other interviews, is, your body keeps track of all the emotions that you've suppressed.
Yes.
And my body was finally feeling it.
The stress from your childhood through this. It's a rubber band, right, Veronica?
Yes. It finally snapped. And that my divorce was that. That's what snapped the rubber band. Is the stress, the endless, no sleep, the sadness that came along with this, and then, of course, the diagnosis and the prognosis all at once. I tell you, a friend of mine once said to me, I was in a meeting and somehow I thought of you, Veronica. And this was like weeks after I was diagnosed. And he said to me, I sat there thinking, I don't know anybody who has experienced such a betrayal, such a huge divorce, such a bad divorce, cancer, and the children being separated from their mother because of their father, all happening at once. And to see you smile and still laugh is unbelievable. And then I said, and he asked me, how do you do that? I said, that is only possible with God.
Yes.
Because I don't know how I did it without being depressed, without curling up in a corner and just being very sad.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't. I was actually the happiest. It was the happiest time of my life.
But that must be very challenging on your part. At the same time, you have all this burden.
Well, the thing is, during that moment, I didn't see any of that as burden nor challenge. I just kept doing. I never judged anything I did. And that helped me.
Mm-hmm.
It helped me because it made things easier. Because by not judging, you're not claiming it's hard, you're not claiming it's easy. You've actually neutralized it. So therefore, there's really not much of an emotion, not much of stress. You just do. It's now, in retrospect, when I'm being interviewed, when I'm writing, when I'm reflecting, is sometimes when I've written my book, that's where I felt the pain. That's where I felt the struggle, not during.
Wow, that's a very unique perspective because, as we always educate in our programs, that cancer journey is unique process and experiences of individual. And that's why we appreciate you giving that kind of perspective. And I just want to sink in terms of is there any in your family had cancer? I just want to make sure we try to educate to this. This is one off and saying, hey, this is the first in our family, that kind of stuff. So we want to.
That's a great question, Edward. You're so right to ask that because I did ask the doctor when I was given the diagnosis and also the prognosis, is this genetic? Because of course I have my children, right? And no, it's very rare. It actually usually happens to men. So just the fact that it's rare, it was such a freaky accident. I thought this is God's sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not liking it. And I'm gonna have a talk with him when I go up there.
Yes. It's so funny because sometimes as well, I kind of wonder, said, why I had leukemia. Mostly my leukemia is the acute lymphoblastic leukemia plus Philadelphia. So it's mostly for the kids. I said, Lord, maybe you're trying to make me younger with the heart right now so that I can have that, that's why it's just funny when you give that example of, this is for men, right? So,
right. So yeah, I can't help but to think that way, because I think that's another thing, as you guys talked about mindset and perception, right? I will tell you this, not once have I ever felt like this was a punishment, that I was a bad person, that I did something. I don't believe in that. Because for one thing, I'm a good person. I think it's a gift. I really believe it's a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And you have that same gift because look at you now. Look at you now. This is what you're doing.
Look at us.
Yes.
Veronica, JC, the cancer community makes us that bonding is so special. And that's why when you hear that word to someone say, you don't have to say anything else when you say someone had cancer. That's really a unique experience that no one can explain to anyone who hasn't really had that journey. So that's why I appreciate, again, she's glowing, Josie, because, you know, the smile, and I think laughing each other.
She is really an inspiration.
I saw
And you are a blessing to others. And I guess because of your cancer journey, you would be able to save other women or other men.
Minimum, give hope. Do not ever give up.
Yes. Oh yeah, speaking of this, I just want to piggyback. Hope is a word that we use in our cancer journey program and of course our summer events. So what really defines, you know, for you the meaning of hope?
Another really good question. I love words. I love words like that, or hope. Like my other company is called Alive, Well, Thrive. They're really just powerful words. So to me, hope can be anything. I mean, it can be a smile. You know, hope is just because I'm alive. You know, just to know that you and I had cancer, or that you and I have cancer, and that I didn't give up is enough. You know, because it's not about the big things when you have cancer.
Celebrate small steps. Yeah, you again nail it, Veronica. That is
it's not the big things. It's the little things. It's actually bringing it back to the basic, right? And it's because we lost that. And so we're returning home in many ways.
Wow. Josie, I'm going to cry at the same time here.
Oh, I'm telling you, I interviewed Veronica. That's why I'm giving you the opportunity to ask her, because she is such an inspiration. And not only that, Veronica, you told me, you know, her heart, and, you know, she's very positive. She's full of energy. And if you follow her on Facebook, can you imagine? It's been 5 years, right, Veronica?
Yes, yes.
Now she's in love.
Wow, that's the beauty. We always talk about his love story.
You really follow me?
Of course I follow you. You just don't realize. Ed, before we continue with that question, we have a special song for Veronica.
Oh my God, lovely.
For you.
Okay. Ed, this time around, we're going to introduce our special guest singing artist tonight. She's the daughter of our birthday celebrant and Vice President, Maggie Cabatuando. She has been singing since she was little, but started to perform in front of people participating in the 2018 ISA Miss Teen Philippines America pageant. Since then, she has had wonderful opportunities to have opened cancers for celebrities. And she is our young ambassador for community and programming events. Ed, tulungan mo ako dito kasi naman, Veronica, ito yung problema ko pag recording. Okay, I'm gonna try my very best.
That's all you can do.
That's right. Teka muna. Hirap to Ayokong mapahiya.
No such thing.
Ayokong mapahiya kay Veronica.
This, Josie, remember.
Oops, hindi yan.
Everybody,
Teka muna.
all worth it.
Yeah.
Be patient. We are about to be given this amazing performance.
And this is especially dedicated to you.
Oh, how sweet naman.
Okay.
Loved it. And usually our feedback on
You guys.
they always get like
Okay. Ito na siya. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Charmaine Cabatuando. Kung sa ano si Charmaine. Okay, here we go with Charmaine Cabatuando.
Ganda-ganda niya.
Oops. Nakikita niyo ba?
Oh, yes.
We'll never be worlds apart. Maybe in magazines, but you'll still be a star. Cause baby, in the dark, you can't see shiny cars. That's why you need me there. With you, I'll always share. Because when the sun shines, we'll shine together. Told you I'll be here forever. Said I'd always be a friend. Took an oath, I'ma stick it out till the end. Now that it's raining more than ever, know that we'll still have each other. You could stand under my umbrella. You could stand under my umbrella. Ella, Ella, ay, under my umbrella. Ella, Ella, ay. These fancy things will never come in between. You're part of my entity, here for infinity. When the world has took its part, when the world has dealt its cards, that's when you need me there. With you I'll always share. Because when the sun shines, we'll shine together. Told you I'll be here forever. Said I'd always be a friend. Take an oath, I'ma stick it out till the end. Now that it's raining more than ever, know that we'll still have each other. You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella. Ella, Ella, ay, 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 under my umbrella. Ella, Ella, ay, 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 ay. You can run into my arms. It's okay, don't be alarmed. Come here to me. There's no distance between our love. So come on, let the rain pour. I'll be all you need and more. More. Because when the sun shines, we'll shine together. Told you I'll be here forever. Said I'd always be a friend. Took an oath, I'ma stick it out till the end. Now that it's raining more than ever, know that we'll still have each other. You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella. Ella, Ella, ay, ay. Under my umbrella, Ella, Ella, ay, 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 ay. It's raining. Come here to me. Come here to me.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Charmaine Cabatuando. Ang galing Ang galing ng aming next generation of leaders. FACC Young Ambassador, Charmaine Cabatuando. Now, let's go back to that question about love life. Ito yung sinabi ni just a moment. Ito yung sinabi niya, Ed. Sinulat niya sa kanyang Instagram. I was very afraid to date again. I was afraid that I would lose myself again. I was afraid. She was not afraid of cancer. Remember that. But she's afraid that it would not matter again and that he would matter more than me. That's just the way I used to know how to love. No more. That's not healthy love. Today is different. I matter. I love me more than anyone else in the world, including my 3 treasures in life. So today, I decided to share a text exchange between me and the man I am dating. His name is Sebastian, and we have a date to roller skates today. Yes, ladies, a man has agreed to do what my big heart desires. Ladies, we got to create our own amazing dating experience. And gentlemen who can't level up, like they say in the application, don't waste your time. Yeah, I know I have to swipe it. Don't waste your time with men who says no to fan. Queens, we got to pick up our king. Don't forget that. Ang haba ng sinulat niya. But now we have to learn something from her. Yes, go ahead, Ed.
Yeah. So, what really, inspire you to open up that heart? That really God knows that your heart will be filled again with this man that you are dating now, Veronica.
Well, I think to claim health, you have to be healthy in all areas of your life. You can't just say, I eat avocado and kale and I'm healthy and I'm getting 20 hours of sleep. And I'm healthy. That's not healthy. It means what I think I read somewhere, there's a doctor that called it the garden of life, meaning.
Yes, and there is even, supplement, garden of life.
There
yes.
you go. So that's like your relationships, your finances, your career. These are all areas of your life, your health, your exercise, and your education. So these are all different areas in your life. You need to be balanced in all of them. And you need to also be healthy in all of them to claim you're healthy. Because if you are out of balance and misaligned in one area, for example, relationships in this case, in my case, let's take me, for example, I feel like I'm balanced in all aspects of my life, my career, like I don't clock in until 10 or 11. I don't know if you guys know that. It doesn't mean I'm not working. I'm working on myself. I'm working on my self-strengthening. And my team knows that. I meditate, I journal, I educate, I continue researching, I read, and I also exercise during that time. So by 10, 11, I can now share myself to the world because what I do is very taxing to the soul. And so I have to always curate a response versus a reaction. I can't be impulsive. I have to be very collective and very peaceful. And so I've realized that I have to really protect my environment to really be that light for a lot of people. And to do that, I have to say yes or no to certain people that enters my life. And so I've deferred dating for such a long time because I was in a relationship and I wanted to heal properly from that. And then I launched my 2 businesses and I got so into it. And then I'm like, wait, Veronica, you got to practice what you preach. What is missing in your life that you can't claim being healthy? So everything else in my life is aligned. And then I thought, okay, are you avoiding to be in a relationship and why? And that's when I realized I have to be truthful to myself and give myself the same lecture, give myself the same coaching that I give to other people, which is what's causing you to, go off and on with the whole dating. And that's when I realized it's for the first time where I'm going to have to show to myself and to all of you who are following me, because my life is somewhat public, that I am embodying what I am saying, which is being healthy. And that means, can I actually be in a relationship? Because the last time I was in a relationship, I once again forgot myself. I didn't honor myself as much as I really am meant to. Time, I get to practice that. I get to execute that. And so there's a little bit of fear in that. And because I am so happy with what I've claimed for myself, and I've worked so hard in protecting and making sure that I matter in everything that I do, that this is my first test. And I'm a little afraid because I have this innate personality to just give without really needing anything in return, because I give that to myself. I'm never really empty.
Okay.
So because I don't need you to give, I'm always giving. But here's the lesson. It doesn't mean that just because you have a lot to give that you should give. That's my lesson. So I had a wonderful date, and he gave more than I gave.
So you met him through a dating site application.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you tell him about, your cancer the first time you met him?
Very good question, Josie, because that is a very touchy and very sensitive subject. I don't have it on my profile on this app. And when I had a conversation with him, it was over 2.5 hours. So we really connected on the phone. I mean, like really on a deep level. Like, oh my God. And he's European. I have this thing for European men. When I hear an accent, I'm already in love.
What accent does he have?
He's German.
Oh, okay, that's great.
It's about the accent, but it's okay. And then, so the conversation is he's emotionally intelligent, and that's really important to me. Intelligence is really important to me. Otherwise, you're not going to last with me. Because I like to talk. And
you're a Filipina.
I'm a Filipina, of course. I have a lot to say. In both languages.
Veronica. So sometimes that's the challenge, right?
Of course, it's hard to find men like that can handle somebody. So because I'm not made for everybody. So anyway, long story short, he's so far amazing. He's a giver, and here's the thing, because I have my rituals and I have all the things that I want to do, that I like to do for myself, because it really brings me happiness. And I feel like that's the pattern that is necessary for me to thrive in life. And as long as anyone who comes to my life who doesn't disturb that and understands that actually he will benefit from that because I'll be a better person towards him, then we're good. Because he's going to need to do that for himself, because I'm not looking for a project. I get paid for projects. I don't need that in my personal life. I need to close my computer and I need to turn to him and say, it's so good. You're not a project. I'm not a project. Let's go and have fun and roll the games.
You don't need project, but you need partner.
I do. That's right. That's it. I need a team player. Who's going to support me, who's not going to look at me and say, you're so weird. Why do you're 53, you're roller skating? No, I want you to roller skate with me. Don't ever limit me. You put me in a box. I'm one of these people that's climbing out of the box like, get me out of here. I'm down here, rescue me, please.
Well, okay, I just want to, we got to get carried away with the story of
Okay, so let's talk about that first, dating or date.
Yes. So it was fun. We ended up playing give and take. So he's a good skater, I guess. So he was teaching me, and then I'm really good at tennis, so I taught him tennis. So that's great. I warmed up roller skating. He filmed me, and then we played tennis. I taught him, and then we went and had dinner. And so that was perfect. It's nice because, here's the problem, I think, with relationships, especially in the beginning. And that was the other thing is, when you can relate to this, when you've been given a death sentence, you become very stingy with your time.
Yes.
You realize that time is something you can never get back. Once you spend it, that's it. It's over. You can't get it back. And hopefully you've accumulated and you've spent it so well and so nicely with meaningful people that you have these incredible memories, right? And so I am now so committed to making sure always to not make time for things that do not matter. So I always tell men, I have to listen to your voice. I have to feel you in my heart over the phone in order for me to make time to see you, to meet you. If I don't feel that, I am not going to make time. I have to feel it. And then so the guy said, well, what if you don't feel it? Then I guess I'm not going out on a date with you.
No, in order to piggyback with the store because I know your children are so important. So what's the reaction when you did you share your experience and how they take it?
Well, I don't really share that with my children, you know. But I mean, they know. I mean, they know me, and I mean, it's time. I've been so focused, and I've been working so hard in being healthy, and I feel like I've been working so hard in having this amazing life because I really have a chance to design a new life here that I've been blessed to really and fortunate to be given. And I'm taking it seriously, but having fun at the same time. And what a wonderful opportunity to be able to have a new life that actually involves me being proactive and choosing and making decisions in doing the things that I want to do that empowers me versus what I have to do because my mom told me to, my culture told me to, the society told me to, my children told me to. No, V doesn't do anything her little heart doesn't desire. Nope. That's my rule. I need to feel that this is right. If not, I can't. I'm betraying myself. I'm not honoring myself.
So Josie, do you have any follow-up?
Yes, let's go back to this, cancer again. Now, during my
Can I say one thing?
Yes, go ahead.
There is one thing I would like to say to everyone. Just because you have cancer, it doesn't mean life stops.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, life becomes even more meaningful, so you must continue, but not the same way. You now have a new way of seeing your new life. If anything, live more than ever. And that includes dating. And don't be scared because it adds an exciting component to your life. Now, I don't know where I'm going with this guy. And you know what? If there's one thing that cancer has taught me, live today.
Yeah, because tomorrow is not promised.
Yes, live today and stay healthy. Now, when you told him about your cancer diagnosis, what was his first reaction?
Actually, I didn't tell him. I forgot to say, after we had like a 2.5 conversation, he was so intrigued by me. And he said, I wanted to make sure you were for real.
Did he check your Instagram and Facebook page?
I actually don't even put my name. I just put V. Somehow this man found me. When you really want to do it, you do it, right? You find it. So he found me. He Googled me, he searched, and he found me. So the next time I talked to him, which was the next day, he said to me, I can tell he was anxious to talk to me. And he said, do you have a moment? Is this a good time to have a very serious conversation? I said, sure. And then he said, okay, I Googled you and I watched your YouTube, and that is why you're an amazing person. I said, no, I was amazing before, but now I'm really amazing. Now you really got that, Veronica.
Uh-huh. And he found a very smart woman, huh?
Yeah. So he's all in. He likes what he found. He said, you're amazing. Everything about you, everything I've read, I'm reading your book. And he says, you're a gem.
If he's watching us right now, what would you like to say to him in 1 or 2 sentences?
You're one lucky dude.
It's called priceless, right, Veronica?
Wait. I'm not done. You're one lucky dude. Buckle your seatbelt. Buckle your seatbelts. All I'm going to say.
Ed, by the way, Veronica doesn't eat Filipino food unless ang magluto nito ay ang nanay niya. But she is very particular kung ano yung kinakain niya sa ngayon. And your food is your medicine kasi nga incurable yung kanyang cancer.
Yes. Yeah. Sadly, I can't eat Filipino food. And I try to watch what I really eat, and most of it is vegetables and just good quality ingredients. And from time to time, I will cheat here and there. Like the other few weeks ago, I was doing my natural IV treatments, and the guy that does my treatment is Filipino. And then sabi ko, Daniel, I feel like Filipino naman. And then he's like, what do you want to eat? I said, sotangon or something, palabok or I'm like, I haven't had palabok in so long. I said, halo, halo. Imagine halo, halo. So he said, then go. It's only 20 minutes from here. I said, okay, I'm going to go. And he, usually he'll tell me that. And then he'll text later. He's like, did you go? I said, no, I didn't go. This time I went. I texted him. He's like, I'm here. He's like, really? You did? I said, yes, I'm having palabok. It felt so good. It felt so good. But I have to say, I just had a Manila mango. That I want. I love Manila mango. A friend of mine I saw his Instagram. He's in the Philippines, and he was with his mom. And then on her hand, she had this thing. And I'm like, is that lanzones?
Oh my goodness.
Like, bring some home, bring back here. So yeah, I miss it. But life offers so many other things. It's okay.
And yung mga medicine na yan, yung nasa sa likod mo, they're not really medicine. They're ano ba yan? Cannabis?
So I have Alive, Well, Thrive behind me. So Alive, Well, Thrive are the three basically healing stages that I followed. So first you have to choose to be alive. That is a decision you have to make, because if you don't make that decision, you're kind of like, you're going about things without any purpose. So now you've made a purpose for yourself, which is to be alive. Now you have to take actions towards being well. So in this category, we also have products that will support your goal to be well. And then Thrive, this is more CBD. So one day you're thriving again. So you don't need as much cannabis. You use CBD instead for the inflammation. And that is where my kitchen and pantry line is, which we're expanding tremendously. So like for Alive, we have some products that are very aggressive, because obviously you're just now being diagnosed. So our approach is aggressive, because we want to make sure that we give you the products that are very potent.
But there is a disclaimer about this, right?
Absolutely. Again, we're not claiming anything here, but I myself am claiming for myself that these are the products that I use, that I formulated from my kitchen at the time I was diagnosed. And I wrote that in my book when we talked about cannabis. When I met this woman and she told me, and I've never used cannabis before, when she told me, you need to saturate your body with cannabis, with Rickson's oil. And she said, do this, get to 3 grams right away. And I did. And the best way to do this is through suppositories, because there is no way you can get 3 grams in you without, you'd sleep for 3 weeks. I slept for 3 days almost. And I said, this can't be happening. Again, God gave me the idea of suppository, at least reminded me of that. I was exposed to that in Europe. They do that all the time in Europe. So that is one of my best sellers, are my suppositories, because it doesn't touch your stomach. So it's direct into your blood, which is amazing. Then you get this physical high versus this mental high. And it's also available in CBD form. So my products is a wellness lifestyle product. So from the minute that you wake up until you go to sleep, because when you're sick, you have to be consistent in your treatment. Right? You need to take your supplements. You need to eat right. You need to do everything the same. Your body needs to get used to this. Your body needs to absorb it.
Yeah. We have 8 minutes on our radio show tonight. I just wanted to ask you this, because you told me before on my previous interview that you fired your 5 doctors. Can you imagine, Ed? She fired them because they told her that you only have 5 months to live. And then, chemotherapy did not work for you?
No.
Radiation?
No. I wasn't qualified.
Oh, you were not qualified.
No, neither one. No chemo, no radiation were available to me, because it was all over. It was all over my upper body. So the doctor had told my 2 daughters, your mom can't do radiation nor chemo. It's all over her body.
How about immunotherapy?
Well, they had given me and something that they're not quite sure it would work and had all these side effects, but I was lucky. I tried it and it's supposed to work for 3 years. Incredibly lucky that there was no real side effects, but it wasn't there to, it's not there to heal you. It's not a cure. There is no cure.
Mhm.
Let's make that very clear.
Just wanted to ask you, did you have a genomic molecular test of the biopsy?
We didn't have to do that. I mean, it was obvious. In fact, I was diagnosed before even without a biopsy.
Mhm.
The thoracic surgeon had already given me my diagnosis after the emergency doctor had already given me. My cancer diagnosis was without a biopsy. It was immediate. It was obvious. I had 1.6 liter up to my collarbone, right here, up to here, of fluid in 1.6 liter. Think of an Evian bottle, big, that much fluid, cancer fluid in my lung. And they said, surprisingly, your lung didn't collapse. But I was very fit because I was healthy. You know, I was eating the right food. I was always a chef, so I never really ate bad food.
So I know we're gonna be closing soon, Josie. So
Yeah, we have 4 minutes.
I just want to ask her, you know, for those folks who are just starting their journey and those who are caregivers, you know, who really need some inspirational words, what, you know, imparting words you can give them, you know, as they started their journey, and those caregivers, because, you know, cancer is not just being for the patient itself, but also the people around them providing the support system as well.
Of course. And you know what? Actually, I'm glad you brought that up because sometimes it's much harder for people who are around you, right? Than the cancer person herself or himself. So yes, let's acknowledge those people around us that honestly, all they want to do is love us and support us, but it's very hard to do that, you know, when you don't know what the other person is really going through. So I will say I can say some parting words, but I think the hope, follow me on any of my channel, not because I want to be popular. That's not why I'm doing this. I honestly am there to give you on a daily basis. And I hope you get that and you receive that, Josie, where I really try to educate you, even on the most basic level, on the most like, if I can just change somebody's mood that one day, person, it's enough. So if you want daily inspirations, daily, you know, some are just very easy and some I really go into deep dive. And I will have moments like this when I posted over the weekend, Josie, that you caught that post. That just really I feel the need to share because it's being human, right? I'm a human being. I go through what you guys are going through, you know. So I think people think, oh well, you know, she's not going through that. Of course I am. I'm just not showing that, but I'm also human. So I think my message is we all want to be understood. So if we can all just stop judging and open our hearts to looking behind the eyes, because usually what's here is not what's going on here. So let's take a moment every single time we're facing somebody who's not going through happy times and actually make them feel that you're at least trying to understand them. Because at the end of the day, what we really crave is to be seen and to be understood. And when you're sick, just to know that somebody understands you, even though they haven't walked your path, but is holding your hand, is wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling. So if you want more of that kind of inspiration and, you know, more information on my products, you can always follow me. And, you know, and like I said, I'll come and speak to you guys for as many times as you guys will have me.
Because of this COVID-19, the in-person, definitely you are excited. We're excited to come bring you here.
And I'm waiting for the copy of my book, of her book, by the way. You know what? I'm gonna give her my book, and you're gonna give your book to me. Okay. It is really nice talking to you, Veronica. And ang inaasahan namin ay talaga namang makita ka in person.
Please, I hope
I
everything.
hope you could join us sa aming event on October, di ba, Ed?
Oh, the October. We haven't really.
Oh, mayroon pa palang may June pa.
Yes. But,
Saan naman to? Saan naman ito?
Dito sa Virginia, sa DC.
Oh, pupunta pa ako sa DC. You know what? It might be a good excuse to go to DC. I've never been to DC.
Oh, you haven't? Oh my God.
Oh, this is the capital of America. You will love it. It feels like, kung nandito ka, para kang nasa Europe, di ba? Gusto mo yung mga Europeans?
I like her selling point. I like her selling point. Definitely, we will have to talk about it for sure. But I am absolutely committed to spreading the word, spreading hope, spreading the information that's much needed.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure. I mean, we've shared a lot of different topics here, but I think the common goal is to be as supportive and helpful to anyone who is ready to receive that. And it is a very serious disease. And I take it seriously, and so do both of you, and so do a lot of people. But I think we can add a layer of lightness to it. And I hope that that's what I do, because I show people that just because you have cancer, it doesn't mean you have to walk around with a t-shirt that says, I have cancer, therefore I'm not going to function as a regular human being. No, in fact, I want to have a t-shirt that says, I have cancer, and watch me live life to the fullest.
That's right. Very good words. Thank you so much, Veronica, for sharing your cancer journey and your time with us dito po sa ating programang On the Air with FACC. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you again next Friday. Bye, Ed.
Thank you.
Bye, Veronica. Thank you.
The Filipino American Cancer Care has just brought you On the Air with FACC, tributes and support to those impacted by cancer. On the Air with FACC, the Filipino American Cancer Care on PHLV Radio.
Just like a friend from back home.
Hi everyone, this is Lana Misalucha and you are listening to PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.